Now, this story is out of the blue, and it's about a local yokel, as you're going to see. And you might be thinking, why are we going to talk about Republican Louisiana politician Mike Yenni, Cenk? Especially when you first see the video. It's a little confusing. When I first saw it, I was like, why is he telling us this? Then I'm going to tell you why he's telling us this, and it's going to be fun. All right, kind of, as you'll see. Watch.
I'm addressing you through this commercial because I don't want my words to be edited. I believe you deserve the truth from me directly. Last summer, I was old enough to know better, but I guess I was still young enough to do something stupid. I chose to send improper text to a young man. I won't go into details out of respect for the rights and privacy of all parties. I made a bad decision. I regret my actions. I apologize to the families involved and anyone who I embarrassed, especially my own family and the people of Jefferson. Now, I will work every day to prove that good people can rise from a bad decision. I want to reassure the citizens of Jefferson that I never abused or misused my powers as a public official. And I'm certainly not afraid of the future because I'm smart enough to never repeat the past. Thank you.
Yeah, as far as apology videos go, that wasn't such a bad one. And he wasn't an idiot and start the video like Christine O'Donnell, I believe her name was, who was running for Senate in Delaware, and she started her ad with, "I am not a witch." And you're like, what? Why? Are you a witch? Is that the conversation? So he didn't start the video with, "I am not a pervert." Okay, so okay, well played on that crowd. I'm like, what is this? He texted a young male. I'm like, what? I don't get it. So he's a father, he's married, he's got a 3-year-old daughter, he's a Republican, you know, I assume family values, yada, yada. And so then one of the national stories said sexting. I was like, this story's strange. So I dug in a little deeper, and I went to a blog called Towel Road, and it's written by Andy Towel, and he had the real story. So apparently, this Yenni character was sending inappropriate sexts to, at the time, a 17-year-old male. Now, the age of consent in Louisiana, keep in mind, is 17, so that is not illegal. But let's give you the context. So, and by the way, I'm still trying to figure out, is he gay? Is he bisexual? Is it, like okay, so the young man whom Yenni allegedly sexted, now 19, spoke to WWL-TV and said that at one point Yenni came to see him at a mall food court where he worked. That's weird, okay. The pair allegedly met in a bathroom, weirder, and Yenni gave the young man a pair of designer underwear and also kissed him. Yeah, I got it. Okay, but in case I didn't get it, text messaging between the pair got increasingly explicit, according to the teen, and Yenni told the young man he wanted him naked. Yep, okay, yep, I'm beginning to figure out this story. Furthermore, days later, Yenni writes to ask the 17-year-old if he's worn the underwear Yenni bought him. Yenni says he wants to see him model it. Yeah, well, getting clearer. Then Yenni texts the teen to say he wants to perform a sex act on him that night. Okay, perfectly clear. Now we understand. And so the way he did that video, it seemed like, I slipped up and I said, I made a joke to this kid. We went to the same high school, and he originally saw him in the school that he's an alumni of and was visiting, maybe some locker room talk, if you will. No, he went to the kid's work and brought him into the bathroom and he said, here's some underwear, and then later I'd like to do sex acts with you. That's not a slip up. That's not like, oh, I made a mistake that I learned from earlier. It turns out when you're a politician, you shouldn't try to have sex with your 17-year-old constituents. Lesson learned. Right? Okay. Now, I do have a slight defense of him, though. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be surprised or not at that. So Yenni says that, as you saw in the video, that he never abused or misused his office. Well, okay, look, 17-year-old is a legal age of consent here. I don't know to what degree he ran on family values. If he did, then you run against him next election and say he's a hypocrite. But it doesn't appear that he's broken that law, certainly. And in fact, I'm like, why in the world is he even doing this video and bringing more attention to it? Well, it turns out the FBI is investigating him. We'll get in that in 1 second. And he said, I can hope the people of Jefferson will afford me the opportunity to prove that I will separate my personal challenge from my public responsibility and that I can rise above this. I think he's got a point. Look, do I want your local, a politician to go around chasing 17-year-old girls or boys in malls and going in the bathrooms with them? No, I don't want that. And whether you think that is related to his job is for his constituents to decide. But I don't see why you would kick him out of office. Now, there is a counter argument. So that teen said that he was initially kind of excited by it, and he thought, well, this is different, and the teen is outwardly gay, and so it's not like, look, it's not me saying it. He said in the beginning he didn't have a problem with it. Now that doesn't make it right. And then he went on to say, also the way he would describe the sexual things he wanted to do to me, and he said that became like a little over the top. He was explaining in the context. And then he asked me to be a secretary or an assistant in his office. That way I could be with him and not be questioned. Now that would have been a significant problem. You can't hire a 17-year-old that you would like to sleep with on a regular basis as your assistant and then pay them government money. But he didn't. He wanted to, apparently, according to the dean, but he didn't. So why is the FBI investigating him? According to one expert, the FBI may charge him with a federal law that aims to protect children under 18 from obscenity. This law prohibits the transmission of any comment, request, suggestion, proposal, image, or other communication which is obscene or child pornography, knowing that the recipient of the communication is under 18 years of age, regardless of whether the maker of such communication placed the call or initiated the communication. Look, it's a strange story, and I can understand, obviously, why people are upset about it, and they want to vote him out, and that's fine. And there might be details that I'm not familiar with. If he's got naked pictures of the kid on his phone and the FBI says that's child porn, that's a different law, I understand. But, no matter how much I might not agree with Republicans, and no matter how much fun it might be to point out the hypocrisy of family values guys who go around doing that, I do still want to be principled here and say, if he didn't break any law, I don't think you should kick him out of office. So we are overly obsessed with sex in this country. So including the current allegations against Donald Trump. Yes, we're all talking about it. Yes, it's terrible. But Donald Trump saying terrible things about whole groups of people, Mexicans, Muslims, blacks, etc., was worse. But we're so sex obsessed that we're like, oh, all those horrible things Trump said, I don't really care. Sex, oh my God, squirrel chase, right? And in this case, it's funny to make fun of Republicans. Yeah, we're, my faith, and da-da-da, and then he's chasing boys around a mall and going in the bathrooms with them and buying them underwear. Like I said in the beginning, come on, there's an element of that hypocrisy that's funny and disturbing. But at the same time, if he didn't break any laws and it isn't related to his job, I don't think that you should kick him out of office right now for that or impeach him or whatever. You want to vote him out of office, great, that's democracy. Have at it, Hoss. But now you know the whole context.
Did you guys know that you can get the full 2-hour show without commercials? Become a member. tytnetwork.com/join.